All right. So good morning, everybody. We are here for the October 20th, 2022 Kingston Local Development Corporation meeting. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Currently joined by remotely Paul Kuchera and B.A. Feeney at this point, and then here in person, James Musties and Ace Clement. Also joined by our executive director, and Brock. Good morning, everybody. We're going to just get started. We are waiting for one more member to join us to have an official quorum. So we're going to just go through some of our discussion items for today, and then we'll vote on what needs to be voted on once we hopefully have quorum in a little while. The first thing is that one of the items that was sent around to the members was just really a notification and really looking for consent from the board. And it doesn't have to be an official vote after talking to George, but we do have a loan that was made to a local business, and one of the three partners in that is exiting the partnership, and they want our consent to be able to allow that the current partners to drop that partner. And they talked to Mandy and George about getting the paperwork set for that. Mandy, I don't know if there's any other details you wanted to share about that at this point.
No, it was just a matter of there was a partnership and the one partner is leaving, and they just need, for legal purposes, to have us remove him from our loan as well as they've been doing this with the other loans they have.
Does the dropping out of that individual partner affect possibly their ability to pay or their credit worthiness?
Nope. They're up to date. They're on your one of the spreadsheets that VA hands out with all of the borrowers. And they're always up to date.
Good morning, Andy.
Oops,
You're muted. Yeah.
You're on mute.
You're muted. You're muted.
Hey, Andy, we can't hear you. I think you're muted there.
I'm really sorry. I have had no correspondence from the KLDC in so long. I had absolutely no notice of this meeting.
Yeah. I think you're probably not seeing the KLDC emails coming in to your new email address. And so we'll have to just make sure that we have that set up right for you.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, we'll double check with you after the meeting to get that all squared away. And so the one item today that we wanted to be able to vote on, I know we sent out the budget to everyone. BA, do you want to go ahead and go over just kind of the highlights of the budget for us?
You bet. You want me to just do the third quarter report? I mean, really, there's very little that has changed since we met last from second to third quarter end. The only thing that I do I'll bring to everybody's attention in the third quarter, Mandy did actually at the beginning of October, Mandy did just send out that final payment for the New York State, the Department of Transportation. That is the last payment we were waiting an invoice for, has not been received as of the end of September. So the final payment, it is a finite amount. We know what it is. So Mandy did send that out in the first week of October. But just balances are similar to everything in the past. Revenue and expenses, the only real difference we see in the expense side is going to be the utilities to the business park, and that is beyond our control. Central Hudson is passing whatever increases or changes they have onto their clients, including the Kingston Local Development Corp. But beyond that, the numbers are consistent quarter to quarter, year to year. We did have a payoff in 2022 that will affect in the future, will affect our revenue. As it was, Mr. Iannucci, it was a large loan that was paid out. So the 30-second version of the third quarter financials. As Mandy mentioned, all of our clients are paying as agreed, except for the one that remains. in litigation, DFC. But the one that Steve, you had just mentioned regarding the partial release, they are current, paying as agreed, and they are on the list third from the bottom. So they are paying as agreed.
Great, thank you, BA, for that. Could I have a motion to approve the third quarter financials? Thank you, Hayes. Do I have a second? Thank you, Jimmy. All in favor? Aye.
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 All right, wonderful. Thank you for that, BA.
Okay, and then the budget and financial plan that also should have been sent out to everybody late morning, midday yesterday. What you will notice on there is this is the same format that we have used year over year over year. It is the format that Mandy has to submit to New York State for the ABO. So it is not any different from years past in its format. You will see from a revenue side, the large item on top, the rental, that obviously is from Helmet, that is in the business park. That is their annual lease payment. Operating revenues, which would be repayment of loans in the normal course of business, and the investment earnings, which essentially is bank interest that's being paid on deposit balances that we do have. Generally consistent. The only item you'll see in the current year estimated category, the reason it's so large is because we did have a payoff from Mr. Iannucci, but going 23, 24, 25, and 26 proposed, that is again consistent with our year over year figures in the past. Going down to expenditures, you'll see there is an increase, and this is the one that I did have a question regarding. It does show an increase of approximately just under $5,400. I had spoken with Mandy about that, and she was asked to insert that increase into our budget in anticipation of a salary adjustment, salary increase. In looking at the City of Kingston budget, the City of Kingston did not, at this point, has not approved that increase. So I didn't feel that that was warranted and just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. Next line item down, professional services, you do show a little bit of an increase. Last time we met, we did approve an additional expense for the IT department, compensation to the IT department to take over the new website for the KLDC as part of the change that happened 2 months ago. So slight increase there. Supplies and materials remain the same. Other expenditures, again, it's in insurances, the business park expenses. There is a slight increase in that, and that is primarily due to utility costs going up. So as I said, the only concern that I have is, as treasurer, just is bringing to your attention the increase in the salary and wage line. And as I said, I didn't feel it was necessary at this point, as it doesn't appear that there's a increase that has been approved.
Yeah, thank you, BA. I think that just to add some further clarification onto the request for the budget increase was that in 2022, the City of Kingston approved a salary increase for all of our management. Management received a 7.5% increase in all of their wages. And so in 2022, we did not ask the KLDC to contribute, toward that wage increase. And so this is a kind of an opportunity for us, to ask the KLDC to be able to, take some of that wage increase. So you'll see if you look at the 2023 adopted or proposed city budget that we just released this week, that there is a year-over-year increase in the line for salary for the KLDC, their community development director, position year over year. And so we also expect in 2023 that there'll be wage increases. Management receives the same or similar wage increases that our CSEA membership gets. And so they're out of contract right now. And so we expect that in 2022, there'll be a retroactive raise for CSCA, which would then be a raise for management. And then in 2023, we expect that there will also be another raise. Most raises that we're seeing nowadays are around 3%, in communities. And so we would expect that in 2022 and 2023, there'll also be a 3% raise each year, which would, be another increase. And so that's why we are kind of preparing, at least for a budgetary perspective, to be able to have more of a request from the KLDC to kind of cover some of those increased expenses, going forward, which we believe will be, needed in 2023. So that's what I.
No, thank you for the clarification. I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention, as it is the only real change on the budget. What I would propose perhaps is that just approving the budget at the current level. If there is an adjustment, once those contracts are settled, we can always make an internal adjustment within the KLDC in the future, once those contracts are settled.
Yeah, I guess the point is that we did settle a contract in 2022 in January of this year, and we didn't ask for a raise from KLDC this year yet. And so I think that's a part of the equation. So we could, maybe look a little bit closer at that too, because our expenses went up as the city, and we just are trying to, have an equal share. We're kind of keeping the same percentage of Mandy's time. We just wanted, have the same allocations kind of spread out over the KLDC. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that we will, that could be a ongoing conversation. Of course, this is just a budget. It's not set in stone. So we can approve the budget however everyone wishes. And then at our next meeting, we could have a more detailed conversation, about that. It doesn't affect, of course, the, our process with the ABO, because numbers can change, within that budget, on a month-to-month basis as needed.
So the 32,295 number reflects the raise. That incorporates the raise or no?
Yeah, so that incorporates the 2,000, what we believe is enough to get the city kind of to have an equal share through 2023,
Okay.
Which includes the 2022 raise, and then what we expect will be also a 2022 raise and a 2023 raise. So in the end, it'll actually be higher probably. The KLDC will probably be a little bit behind again, but we don't want to ask too much at this point. Does anyone have any other questions, comments about the budget at this point?
I can't really talk to it.
Yeah, it's a BA. I want to thank you for working with Mandy on that. It's I think the most important thing is to be able to, get it uploaded to the ABO by the Halloween deadline. So I appreciate everybody's time and flexibility on this. And, again, as we move forward with the rest of the year, if there are changes, questions, concerns, again, for ABO's purposes, this needs to be submitted by Halloween, but our actual budget year doesn't start until January. And so we obviously can make updates and changes as we go.
So you need a motion to
Yeah.
approve this?
We would need a motion.
I move to approve the budgeted financial plan for 2023 as proposed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jimmy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I would oppose.
Okay. All right. Thank you all very much for the budget. And we'll also take
Policies.
Policies.
I just need to make sure everybody reviewed the policies as requested. Every year we have to either amend them or adopt them. It's part of our uploading to the ABO. So.
Yeah, so as part of our, best practices, we're supposed to look at our policies every year. I think Mandy sent a link to all of the policies that we have. During this year, I don't think we've identified any areas of concern to adjust any policies or procedures. So at this point, I guess I'd ask for a motion to just reaffirm our current existing policies and that we've reviewed them.
So
BA, do you have are you moving that or question?
Sorry, so moved. Had to
Okay,
unmute.
thank you, BA. Second by Hayes, all in favor? Aye. Any?
Aye.
Aye.
Wonderful, thank you.
Just one more.
Yes, go ahead, Mandy.
I just want to make sure that everybody saw the letter that I attached was the report to the board from the auditors, which clearly stated that we did not have any issues. I just wanted to-
I don't have anything, Mandy.
I never get anything that's kicked back from you though. Like it always goes out to the vice president, but it never gets kicked back. So I'm not really sure what the problem is. I can resend it, but
Yeah.
everybody
I'm
else
not-
gets it.
I'm not seeing them. I'm looking in spam too. I just don't see anything.
she's not.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll go back and I will find everything that I've sent and resend it. I just sent you a test also.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm pretty more on top of this, but yeah, I've got nothing.
well, the good thing is that we didn't have any comments or findings by the auditors, and I know that that's always a, you know, a very time-consuming process, so I just want to thank you, Mandy, for working with the auditors and being able to provide them with all of the information. I know that we've really been able to, you know, clean up a lot of the old way that this organization did things, you know, and now I think we're in a really good position, and I think that that's happy to see that our auditors are happy, you know, with the work that we've done and the progress that we've made.
And I'm gonna reach out to them the first week in January, or maybe the last week in December, to try to get it set up where they come in and do the audit sooner. Because I think the longer it gets pushed out, you know, other firms are also trying to get their audits done. And I don't wanna see us get pushed behind.
Yeah, definitely the earlier we can do it, the better, for sure. And so do you need a motion to accept the audit? But we did that
We
already.
already did that, but this letter,
Yes, ma'am.
afterwards, after it was finalized, so I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that we didn't have any issues.
All right, well, thank you. And then I think that the last item would be to just approve the minutes from our last meeting, and so do I have a motion to approve those? Thank you, Hayes, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Andy, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, great, thank you. So the last thing on our agenda today was to be able to have a presentation. I know that we discussed at our last meeting about the process that the city went through to be able to do a request for expressions of interest for a project on the Broadway corridor. The city received a few submissions. They were reviewed by an RFP review team. That effort is led by our housing director, Bartek, who's here with us today. Hi, Bartek. Thanks for joining us. And we're going to be having some folks from Baxter Development meet with us today. You may have seen that we did an announcement. I hope you all saw my invite to the event, but it was in the middle of the day, and so I know it's hard to be able to get out, but I thought it was really important that at the very beginning, you know, of this process, you know, to be able to start having conversations about what this could look like. As we said during our public announcement, you know, this project that we're going to be learning more about is at its conceptual stage. This is really when we're going to be starting the community process of being able to discuss this project. We have conceptually, you know, kind of figured out what could potentially fit, you know, on this property. And, you know, we do see a role that the Kingston Local Development Corporation could play at a point in time that we would like to be a lot sooner than when we did our most recent land transfer. And so our hope is to have the KLDC involved right from the beginning. And so to do that, we thought we would have, you know, our future partners, you know, kind of talk to us right from the beginning about this project and about, where this could go and what this could mean for, Midtown Kingston and the heart of our community. And so in a moment, I'm going to turn it over to Baxter. They've got, I think, a short presentation to be able to go through, to be able to just go over some of the highlights and show you all some of the designs in person. Well, at least virtually, but up close so that you can see them a little bit better. And first, I'll probably let the team from Baxter just introduce themselves so that everybody can say hello, and then we'll see if you guys, I think you guys want to share your screen, so you just have to let me know who, when you're going through your introductions, who will want the screen sharing capability. So bring it, you want to start?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Steve. So my name is Brigham Farrand. I'm the Director of Business Development at Baxter. We're going to be one of the co-developers on this project, joined today by a series of our partners on this endeavor. The one we'll actually be sharing the screen should be coming on in a minute. And Baxter is a locally based, Poughkeepsie-based real estate development and construction management company. I'm excited to be here and presenting to you guys today. We're really excited to be partnering with the city on this great project at 615 Broadway.
Hi, I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Lauren. I'm also with Baxter. I head up the development team, and we're very excited to work on this project. It was nice to get out with a few other folks to the site last week. And like Brigham said, Colin, I believe, who will be sharing screen, will be on shortly. I'll let the rest of the team, Sisha and Samara, introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Samara Daly. Nice to meet everybody. And thank you to the mayor for your leadership on this project. I'm the principal and co-owner of Daly Gonzalez. We are a government and community relations firm based both in Kingston and New York City, and have been working with mixed-use development projects for over a dozen years. And we're really thrilled to be involved with this project in Midtown Kingston. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sisha Ortuzar with Grounded Hospitality. And so I've worked with the Baxter and Mappos teams in previous projects. And what I do is I bring my background in hospitality to development to see how we get these projects from a concept, an idea in a building into something that is an active part of a community, and just really bring in that sensitivity of hospitality to the idea of a building that and thinking about the occupants of the building as guests in this endeavor. So and really looking forward to working in this project as well.
Thanks, Sisha. And while I try and buy some more time for Colin, I think it's probably appropriate for us to share a little bit more about what Baxter is as a development company and who we are collectively as a team, and maybe a little bit about this project. So Baxter and our development group with Samara and Sisha and Colin from Mappos, we're a team that has collectively worked on thousands of projects in the Hudson Valley. We've developed about 1,000 ourselves as a team, hundreds of thousands of square feet of commercial and retail space. And when we were presented with this opportunity to submit for 615 Broadway, it really got all of us excited because as a group, we're extremely passionate about the revitalization of a lot of these old, historic and urban towns in the Hudson Valley. The Baxter family is 4 generations to the Hudson Valley. We are committed to the region. All of our development projects are locally based in Dutchess or Ulster, and we're really passionate about this. And when I first sat down with Samara and Sisha, Colin, and the team, we wanted to come up with a plan for 615 that was going to bring a sustainable and dynamic mixed-use development that enhances the economic and community vitality for Kingston and what it could be. And I think that as we roll through these slides today, and hopefully when Colin, when he gets on, can share with us, you can see how we're going to try and capture that through some of our design. It's also important to us that the buildings that we promote and that we develop are going to be utilized and will benefit the community as a whole. We want them to serve the community members, whether that's through promoting the arts or other cultural endeavors that bring an exciting and experiential nature to them. So it's not just a building where people can live, but it's a building that people can experience. And we really want this to promote, Kingston as a beacon for kind of what the Hudson Valley can be, and promote the change that's going on here. As our development team was created, we wanted to find a team that shared and had complementary skill sets. So Baxter, as a development group, we are very skilled in what the development and the financial management and asset management needs to be. We also are a very experienced construction management group that does tens of millions of dollars a year building for ourselves and others. And we're very comfortable executing in that environment. But we also wanted to build out our team because it's not just about the numbers and it's not just about the construction. It's about creating an experience. It's about engaging with the community, building something that the community can be proud of, and working with the city. And that's why we brought on our partners like Samara and Sisha and Colin. And I think Samara, I'd love to kick it to you, and you can kind of talk about what Samara Daly is and the role you'll be playing with the project.
Sure. So as I shared, we've been specializing in government and community relations. And I think in particular for this project, given the vibrant artists and creative and small business community, we are really, really thrilled and excited to be working alongside Sisha and Mapos and the development team, of course, to really embark on some thoughtful listening sessions with the community to really hear and work together collaboratively with the artist community, the small merchant and businesses, and the residents, because obviously Midtown Kingston is a really thriving intersection. And so we really want to be thoughtful as we're thinking through this conceptual and finalizing the design about what are the real needs to complement the existing thriving burgeoning neighborhood of Midtown. We really feel like this project in particular, developing a new project on this vacant land is such an important opportunity. And so we have always prided ourselves of really working together and not making assumptions about what new neighborhoods or existing neighborhoods need. And so through these, conversations and, listening sessions with all of you and with the local stakeholders, that's something that's going to be really, important to us to help think thoughtfully about the community facility and the ground floor retail and commercial, as well as the open plaza that you'll see in the presentation about how we're right now concepting this new development site. And so that's sort of how we approach all of our projects especially with mixed use development. And we've been successful in that because we think we really have a thoughtful and concentrated approach to making a really exciting but important project sustain and hopefully live a very long time in Midtown Kingston. So
if Brigham, if Colin's having trouble finding us today, I do have the designs pulled up on my computer, so I could actually share my screen. And
I just pulled them up on mine as well.
So we should probably dive in.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go next. And Lauren, I was going to ask you to kind of go through maybe our unit mix and a little of the massing of what we're trying to do in this project.
Sure.
And I will pull up, maybe see if you want to let me share my screen.
Sure, yep.
I will.
While you're pulling that up, Brigham, I also just wanted to add that Baxter, we also have a property management company. So on the development side and ownership, our typical plan is to hold long-term, right? So we're building these assets wherever they may be, Poughkeepsie, elsewhere, with the idea that we are holding them long-term, operating them, managing them. So it's not something that, you know, we engage with the community just to deliver the project and then kind of, you know, turn around and sell it. You know, that's certainly not off the table in many cases, but our typical strategy is to hold long-term, and we'll even manage ourselves. And so, you know, we keep that in mind when we're building and putting a project together. All right, take it away, Brigham.
Great. So what we see here is really the east elevation of what we're proposing is 615 Broadway right now. To be named, we're willing to take suggestions as to what this can be. And this is, you know, kind of the first iteration of what we think this amazing project can be. And it consists of 61 mixed income apartments. Yes, somebody trying to say something? 61 mixed income apartments, 30% of which are going to be earmarked for individuals and families that are between 80% and 120% AMI, really that missing middle. It's a particular market sector that we are passionate about targeting because oftentimes they're overlooked, and those are our teachers and police officers and firefighters. And we wanted to kind of develop this project with, you know, with those in mind. So 30% of those apartments are going to be earmarked for those families and those individuals.
And the breakdown of those 61 units is approximately, this could move, but approximately 15% studios. The bulk of them are 1-bedrooms at about 60%, and then a little over 60%, and then about 20% 2-bedrooms. So a mix of studios, 1s and 2s, with the bulk of those being 1-bedrooms.
That's right. And then this is the view from Broadway looking south. And what we're trying to highlight here is an engaging space from the streetscape that will pull people back into this property and onto this parcel. We wanted to highlight with this feature really the deep listening plaza that is right there right now. We wanted to make sure that that is being captured and remains, and we wanted to work with, you know, the local arts community and other members of the community to really fine tune what we think this amazing space can be. And all on the front here, you know, the building, and you'll see as we continue these images that wrap through, are going to be retail and commercial spaces that could potentially be used for local entrepreneurs that are trying to start, you know, a local business. We have a deep history of incubating and promoting local business owners with their first business, you know, in a community where they grew up, in a community where they want to live, and to create these fun and engaging spaces maybe gives them an opportunity to try that first business out that maybe they've been avoiding for a while.
Yeah, and Brigham, just to be able to orient everyone, that building that you see right there is 609 Broadway, is the existing building, or what folks and the local folks know as like the former Central Hudson building. It's on the National Historic Registry. And so that's the building you see on the left, and then the new building is there on the right, just to clarify for everybody.
Yes, that's correct. And then this would be the view looking out towards Broadway. So Broadway would be out here where my mouse is. So once you come back into this space, you're now welcome to this amazing plaza that can be used for a multitude of different programs, art shows, exhibits. This steel structure that we have kind of surrounding is being designed in a way that others can engage with and participate on. And maybe we have artists that are hanging, you know, or using this structure to promote their art shows. maybe it's small concerts back here. We envision, maybe restaurants and coffee shops, and having this be a fun family place that's not just for the tenants of this building, but is a great amenity for the city of Kingston and the Kingston residents. You can see up here, where we're enhancing green space on top of these buildings with these, open air, and roof terraces for people to experience in a totally new way as well. So we really see this place where family and friends and community can get together and experience this space and talk together. It's something that we're really excited about and looking forward to continuing to explore with the other members of the community. This is this is the massing breakdown as it's currently designed. So we have our residential units in the back and our residential units up top. And then all of this orange space here is all the commercial to be programmed. But we have all of this as the commercial space. And then we have our green space hardscape again in here with the idea of bringing people back into the deep listening plaza and really continuing that theme and continuing that thread with our, and ingraining that into the programming of this development. And then lastly, I think we'll end with, again with this view, because I do think it shows what the kind of the transformative nature of this parcel right now is into what it can be. With that, is there anything else that any of the other members of my team want to add?
No, I think you hit on everything there. Thanks.
Yeah, so we'll open it up to any questions. So Hayes, I think you have a question.
I think it's a terrific project. Has there been any further discussion with the gas station owner on the corner about potentially incorporating that parcel into the project?
Not to this point. We have not furthered those conversations. We've sort of been focused on, what we need to do on this site. I wouldn't say that it's off the table. We just have not advanced those conversations yet.
Anybody else have any other questions for the team here? Yeah, I think our thought today was to just be able to open up the lines of communication, to be able to introduce folks to the new concept from at least the city side. Bartek here is going to be our direct liaison, and we'll be working with our partners to move this project forward. And we will probably be, having this as a monthly discussion item going forward, just so that we can kind of stay in the loop on everything that's happening with the project and the role that we can play. Again, our goal is to be able to kind of be here from the beginning and kind of be a part of this project as a local development corporation, moving forward. And so Brigham, I want to thank you and your team for taking a few moments today to hop on with us during our meeting, just so that we could get a personal overview. So it's much appreciated. And again, we will, be having lots of conversations as we, move forward. So thank you. Bartek, do you have anything you want to?
And on behalf of our team, thank you very much, guys. We are very much looking forward to working with everybody in the city. You guys have been great so far, and it's greatly appreciated. Bartek, thank you for all of your help. Mayor Steve, thank you again for your leadership. We're looking forward to working with the KLDC, and the other stakeholders in this. It's something that's very exciting for us.
I just want
to say I'm really excited for this project. This site has been vacant for over 10 years, and I think it's time that we move forward. So
great. Thank you. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
So I think that's all the business that we had as a local development corporation. And so Mandy, did we cover everything?
Yes.
All right, good. Well, so thank you all. I guess what we will do is we'll ask for a motion to adjourn, and I appreciate everybody's willingness to hop on today, and we'll look forward to our next meeting.
I move to adjourn.
All right, thank you, Hayes. Do I have a second? Feel better, Paul?
Thank you.
Yes. All right, and I can give you a second. All in favor? Aye.
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 Be well, everybody. Thanks so much again for joining today.